Welcome back to the Karmic Third Party Update. Yes, we cover these weekly. And if you do want the next edition, you can join a YouTube membership that does host both the pre-release content ad-free, that is for the next week's editions, as well as join us for the joint connection on Sunday, Greens Mention time. We are going to have a look at the Karmic Third Party. This is one of those interesting weeks because we are moving into the energy of eclipse. And this can be also really good to look at how we can, from a karmic point of view, especially if we have spiritual blocks, really look at those energies and see how they can be impacting us. Now, the first card that we have as the crowning energy is a jewel within a teardrop. And I always take the context of this. I can say that the eclipse in Libra can be anything Venus related. It is to do with our past. We can be doing a lot of shadow work. This also can be to do with the karmic actually directly reflecting upon pain, past tense dreams. And it's really where we come to a space that we are looking at our most intimate connections, because it connects to marriages, contracts, partnerships, and how we are directly looking at them and going, okay, is it where we wanted it to be? Do I need to let this circumstance go, or is it being taken from me? And I always call it the energy of three. It's the Trinity energy. It's we get the near miss, we get the inclination of it. We then get the warning of it. It can be a tower moment of some description, and a close kind of a close hit. And then if we don't own our power and transform it, we directly will then have the tower moment, and it can be wrapping it up. Now, this being a South Node eclipse in Libra, marriages, contracts, partnerships, can be to do with the past. This can be, divorces, separations, conflicting connections, and it coming to a head, coming to a peak, especially because it's moon, it'll be within families. It can be within a karmic relationship. It can be with children. It can be with home environments, with health patterns, with emotions that are unstable, that just don't merge between both individuals, between, the feminine and the masculine energies within the joint karmic connection. So ultimately, this is going to be a very testing few weeks. And what we do tend to find with an eclipse is it ushers in situations, again, because it's a South Node eclipse, it is a past tense situation. It can be going back to an old person. It can be leaving or transforming it. The promises, have they reached that pivotal point from 6 to 12 months prior? And what it is going to do is it's going to show the cracks in the system. And it's also going to show a potential where between now and 6 to 12 months, this can be a wrap of this direct situation. Now, it's a little bit like when we do go through a separation, so to speak. There are increments of things, and some of that might have happened about 6 to 12 months ago. There was, again, it was like the near miss energy. It was the warning signs, etc. This can be coming to that middle point again, especially because we are going to have more eclipses during the year. I'll take a look at the moon energy and I'll give you some updates as to when those eclipses are coming through. And definitely this can be a shake of this, because we did have eclipses last year in the set of Aries and Libra, and we're having a wrap up this year. So the funny thing is with the North Node, it won't completely wrap up until, let me see, Aries 2025. It can even be beyond. We can even be looking even further, because we're not going to be having a total. It's a partial. Okay, so we're having a partial, and that's going to be in 2025. So these new beginnings, new chapters, they're not, how would I say it? It's not completely wrapping up yet. Now, that's not to say that karmic endings aren't happening. I definitely do feel they are. We have another eclipse in Libra relating to this energy in October, and that's going to be at 10 degrees. So it has shifted. It's moving forward. And I'll probably have to look even further for that. But definitely this can be ushering in a wrap-up of that circumstance. What I can say from this is the next eclipse we're having after is going to be the eclipse in Aries. It's April the 8th, which is going to be at 19 degrees. And then September, we're having a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, which is the next nodal energy. And again, this can be to do with habits, patterns, endings, death, emotions. But definitely this eclipse here is really causing a lot of conflict, especially for those in karmic relationships that aren't in alignment for them and where they have not been able to sort of own their power and close that karmic cycle themselves. Something is moving through an evolution here, and will be causing conflict, especially if it's not in alignment. What the lesson is in this, from a spiritual perspective, I would say for the karmic individuals, is even through pain, we can actually gain great wisdom, especially if we are moving through this. Jewel within a teardrop. Appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. And it is a 10. It does connect to us returning home to ourselves, being authentic to ourselves, knowing what is and isn't. There's spiritual marriage, and definitely, I always say this, especially in Twin Flame Path, we need to have union with self. And when we're not, we feel we're dishonoring ourselves, especially in any romantic partnership, and especially with twin. We tend to find when there's conflicts and we're giving our power away and we're not being authentic to ourselves, we can form resent. These individuals generally don't have that awakened energy. So they're unaware of those circumstances and what the lessons are, but definitely between now and 2025, we just recently had a moon in Pisces. And I did suggest that we do really look at that as some key feature that's going to be impacting the unawakened energy. And so the North Node moving into Pisces is going to be one of those chapters. So emotionally, this year can be quite charged for karmics. And I'm seeing from the past position, their perception of things, they're having a purge of the ego. They're having to look at their delusions. Maybe for some, they might have gone into this karmic relationship, and I did mention this to a fellow Patreon this morning, that particularly what we can find is, as we do move through our twin flame path, we can look at it and say, how can I explain it? It's a little bit like a karmic being in total awareness of who divine feminine or masculine is and the spiritual connection they have together, and maybe there's unfinished business. And going into it knowing full well that that chapter hasn't ended is almost like loaning a library book. So inevitably they're setting themselves up for disaster because they're always in that other person's shadow, and at any time it can sprout because it had roots planted. And so it can get very messy at times. And I feel this individual is looking back and, really looking at their perceptions. And I'm noticing the high heart chakra here. Definitely this moon is a high heart chakra energy. We have Chiron involved between now and the Aries eclipse, the wounded healer, and having to have a reality check. So they can be quite disillusioned. They also feel that they would, some of them I'm noticing in the heart space, we have amethyst here, and it's almost like they could be going to people that maybe are healers and mediums, and maybe it's black magic involved. And amethyst is very psychic in nature. So yes, this could be going to the wrong individuals to help with them with clarity on the circumstance, going about it in an incorrect way, not understanding that a relationship is both emotional and spiritual. It's not just the intimate act. It's really the spiritual connection between both individuals. And I always say, what mountain are you willing to die on? And it's not that we can do everything for everyone, and we simply can't. And that's something from a karmic perspective, divine feminine and masculine, and really learning through these karmic connections. And a karmic does not have to be a physical romantic connection. At a point in your journey, it could be that masculine and feminine are doing shadow work relating to a previous connection, and these ecliptic points can bring those things up. Separately, this can be a physical individual or a work or a pattern, so to speak. I'm also noticing the flame tree. There's a lot of light coming through on the screen. It's almost like, and my prediction, it literally looks like a comet. It's bringing something from the past back, and it's interesting. At the Aries eclipse, which when some of us energetically are going to be picking up on it, I feel between now and April, there is going to be something to do with the twin flame path that's coming up, and shadow energy. And it's interesting. I do believe this comet is called Devil Comet. Let's see. Okay, so the last time, I'll read this. When was this post written? 2025. Okay. Devil Comet currently passing across Australian night sky. And it's interesting because I am streaming to you guys from Australia. The comet the size of Mount Everest, branded the Devil Comet, is set to streak across our night skies in coming weeks, much like the 1986 Halley's Comet. Paynesbrook Comet is being billed as once in a lifetime celestial event, not likely to be seen for another 70 years. So this is quite, and this is from Listen ABC. You can actually Google them. What else do we have? Devil Comet approaches Earth. And it's funny, your patron actually mentioned that it looks very much like a dragon, which physically we are in the year of the dragon. This is about being assertive, planting seeds for our goals. Distinct horns of gas-like ice. So it is passing, I do believe, upon the Aries eclipse. Okay, so have a look at that. Google it. The timing of its approach coincides with the total solar eclipse scheduled for the 8th of April 2024 across Northern America. So this, again, can be, depending on where you're located. I generally do tend to find when an eclipse occurs, yes, around those areas and where the ecliptic point is visible, there can be circumstances happening, but we definitely can have weather events across the opposite spectrum of the world. And so this can be in Australia, it could be New Zealand, the lower hemisphere, but it's going to impact the globe, our personal energies, our life. And I'm noticing it is really in the axis of fire. This can be some big changes, the start of something new, it says, and this is within the twin flame path, and this can be ushering an ending for the karmic energy. This karmic energy is kind of being ushered into finding peace within this and facing their inner child. They can be doing a lot of shadow work. And I also see from, again, the foundation, this has been coming up quite a bit this week with the twin flame updates I've been doing, is the moon and the moon in reverse. Now, this eclipse, travel, romance, and potential. It's closing a cycle out, being a South Node eclipse in Libra. They may not want to let go of this. Part of this is because it's not part of their journey. Part of what is not in our journeys, we may have to face from a karmic point of view. We may be doing shadow work relating to this circumstance. There is unfinished business and healing, but this healing 9 times out of 10 does not relate to the twin flame path. Generally, it's previous connections. It's not accepting the status quo. There is almost having to learn through these circumstances, and I'm noticing the crowning energy. Jewel within a teardrop, there is a deeper meaning why things happen, and it triggers and ushers in some healing for these individuals. I feel between the two eclipses, it's making reference to the point that these individuals are going to go through a tower moment. There can be anger and aggression, old patterns from the inner child can be coming up. They may need to make peace with these things. And if they're not, they're kind of forced through this portal to directly accept this. And it's funny because we have healing and harmony in reverse. So it makes it more intense if they don't accept it, so they release and let go. Take care. Don't forget to check out the Joint Connection. It is coming up on Sunday. By subscribing and clicking the bell and commenting, you help support this channel, provide you with more content coming to you. If you do want to see the next edition, you can jump through to our YouTube membership. They do get all the content ad-free, as well as they have Discord, which is chat rooms, coaching. I provide them with transit updates as well, and ways to deal with any psychic attacks and more. Hope to see you next week. I'd love to hear how this relates, especially if you are in awareness of how karmics are dealing with this. Share your comment in the box below. Take care and I'll see you soon.